Tonsil Stones Part 2. So go back and watch the first video so you can catch up where we're at here. But this lady who came in, incredibly high levels of calcium in her blood, massively calcium deficient. She probably hadn't been in an absorption range for calcium in years. But her blood was showing high in calcium because her body was in a state of dire emergency and it was pulling calcium from her long bones, and it was in her blood for transport and use. So it was withdrawing it from her own structure, her own bones. When this happens, when we have mineral content being drawn from the bones and it is in the blood for transport, it's everywhere. It's in all of our fluids, right? And this includes our saliva. So we have a major salivary duct. It's called the sublingual duct, which means under the tongue, and it's, surprise, under the tongue. And this sublingual duct is responsible for the calculus accumulation that accumulates on the back of the teeth. This gland produces the saliva. When we talk and when we swallow, our tongue thrusts forwards and it deposits all the mineral content that's in that saliva onto the back of those teeth. You also have salivary ducts. Your parotid glands are your major salivary ducts, and they are outside of these molars on both sides. And they're a major duct here. If you pull your cheek back, it'll look like a little dimple. And this is where the other large area of calculus accumulation comes from. So when we are osteoporotic, or we're lacking calcium, and it's in our blood for transport because it's been withdrawn from our body, it's going to show up not only in the blood, but it's going to be in our saliva as well. So this causes, when I was a dental hygienist and I would see people come in and we would call it a calculus bridge or a calc bridge, which means that they have a ton of buildup behind those front teeth. That indicates to me that they are probably very calcium deficient. It's the same thing for tonsillary stones. When you have such a high mineral content in your saliva because it's in your body for transport, it's being spread around, we get tonsil stones. We get an accumulation in these little tonsillary crypts. They're like little grooves in your tonsils and in the back of your throat. And when we've got all this high mineral content in our saliva, wherever it flows, it just tends to accumulate there. So in my opinion, that is the reason for tonsillary stones. And I would look at mineral absorption and your ability to assimilate minerals over taking sulfur if your tonsils are not inflamed.